This time of year, we have family around and tons of parties to go to, and they're usually expecting us to make something delicious.
We're gonna show you some fun tips and tricks,
a few of our personal favorites, and a few new ones.
They're all easy and delicious.
And you won't have to use hard to find ingredients.
Just remember,
keep it quick, keep it simple, keep it classy.
No matter what, there's going to be some good groceries.
So in this video, all of us here at Blackstone do our best to share some deliciousness with you guys so you can share it with all of your guests and loved ones. I'm gonna show you guys how to make a fantastic steak appetizer that's passable and incredibly delicious. I'm gonna start with 2 gorgeous ribeyes. We're gonna hit that with some oil and some of our Blackstone blackened. Now be pretty generous. We want this seasoning all over those gorgeous steaks. Now with your griddle set to high heat, get this thing smoking, set to stun. We're gonna add some oil and our steaks and cook those however you like. I personally like a medium rare, but go as little or as much as you like. The sauce is very, very simple. We're gonna start with some mayonnaise, then we're gonna add a bit of grated Parmesan cheese. We're gonna hit that with a bit of prepared horseradish, some lemon juice, and some boursin. Now, all of these things together with just a touch of salt and pepper and water makes for a fantastic no-cook, no-fuss sauce. It's gonna be fantastic on this steak. Once the steak is done, pull it off and let it rest. Let's slice up some of our baguette. We're gonna toast that. Use some of that leftover fat from the steaks. We wanna cook this in the beef fat, toasty on both sides. Now it's time to assemble. Let's go ahead and add all of that toast to our Blackstone cutting board, which also doubles as a serving platter. Let's hit that with a bit of arugula, a wonderful, peppery, gorgeous green, and then that sliced, beautiful, succulent ribeye. Use 1, 2 pieces if you like, and I'm a fan of the fat. If you're not, get rid of it, but I want it on there. Now we're gonna top that with some of that gorgeous creamy sauce, a little bit of chives for garnish, and the last little bit, a touch of sweetness to counter all of this wonderful savory with some balsamic glaze. And that, my friends, it's stunning and it's delicious.
shareables, passables, bite-sized finger food, my favorite way to feed my friends and family style. Today I'm showing you how to make these mini bunless burgers, whether you're going classic like we are today, or switching things up and getting crazy, making jalapeno bacon burgers or mushroom Swiss burgers. The possibilities are endless. And after all, aren't burgers everyone's favorite on the Blackstone? Either way, no matter how you're making these, once you have your toppings prepped and cut into bite-sized pieces, ready to skewer on with your burgers, you can start making your burgers. Into a large bowl, I've got a little under 1.5 pounds of a good quality ground beef. 80-20 because we want that fat for flavor. Now you can make these with just beef, or you can use a blend or make your own, or even switch it out for chicken or pork. We'll season it up with some kosher salt and fresh black pepper. Give it a quick mix, making sure to leave this meat nice and loose. We want to begin to roll these out into bite-sized pieces, about 1 tablespoon, making sure not to over-mix your meat. We'll add a little indentation to each one. This way they do not shrink up too much. As for cooking these, I always love adding flavor by using beef tallow fat or duck fat, ghee, or even bacon up. And we're going to be cooking with a little bit of mustard, which also adds a depth of flavor as well as helping create that beautiful crust. Once our Blackstone is screaming hot and smoking, we've got our beef tallow fat down go our burgers. We'll brush them with some of our mustard, and then after about 2 to 3 minutes, give them a flip. Pile these high with good old American cheese. Allow that to begin to melt. Now I've got my beautiful Blackstone cutting board. For presentation, we're going down with a smear of our mustard, a bed for each of our bite-sized burgers with our baby crunchy lettuce. Now let's assemble on go our burgers, that beautiful melty cheese, zhuzh it up with a pop of color with those purple onions, skewer on our bite-sized pickles, our grape tomatoes, and get that skewer into each burger. These are so colorful, so fun, and they really satisfy the craving we all have for burgers on the Blackstone. Don't forget, you can also serve these alongside some of my famous Betty's burger sauce. Keeping these mini and bunless will save you room so that you can enjoy a bite of everything else everyone brings to the table.
This is a new one for me. Today I'm gonna make teriyaki salmon bites. I'm gonna start out with a big old fillet of king salmon, gonna slice it into strips and chop it into cubes. I have these cool little appetizer skewers straight through the salmon. Gonna put those down into a container. I'm actually gonna stack them up. We'll get them ready for later, and I love garlic. Gonna crush some cloves of garlic. We'll chop it up and mince it up. So the more garlic, the better. Down into the salmon. And you know me, I'm all about that Mr. Yoshida's teriyaki sauce, the best in the world. I mean, come on. We'll close that up, shake it around a little bit, let that refrigerate for about 30 minutes or so. Heat up my Blackstone Griddle and check this out. We're going down, skin side down first, and after a few minutes, these will be ready to flip. Now, sometimes the skin will stick to the fillet. No big deal, you just peel that off. Now, other times when you flip them, the skin will stick to the griddle top. In that case, you just scrape it off. So flip them a few times, get some good caramelization, and then pour that extra Mr. Yoshida's down on the salmon. Gonna pull those off the griddle, put them into a container, and then we'll plate them up on my Blackstone Griddle cutting board. Look at those things. Got some flat leaf parsley, gonna mince that up down on the salmon, and you know we've got to have some sesame seeds. Woo! Take a look at that teriyaki salmon bites.
When I'm taking a platter to a party, I like to bring these Dynamite Mussels. They're super quick and easy to make, but taste like you've been slaving away in the kitchen. Here's how to make them. In a mixing bowl, combine Kewpie mayo, also known as Japanese mayo, lemon juice, sriracha, soy sauce, sugar, and thinly sliced green onions. Mix it well and set it aside. If you can't find Japanese mayo, you can always use regular mayo too. You'll want to use green mussels if you can find them in your freezer aisle at the grocery store. Make sure to defrost and clean them completely. Drain any excess water, and using a paring knife, carefully separate the mussels from the shell. Lay the mussels flat on a baking sheet and then spoon a little mayo sauce over the mussels. Then top it with panko breadcrumbs for a nice crunchy topping and grate some Parmesan cheese over everything. I like to cook the mussels in small batches in my Blackstone pizza oven at 450 degrees for just 5 to 6 minutes, or until they become nicely golden and the sauce is bubbling. Once they're finished cooking, carefully take them out of the oven and drizzle a little unagi sauce over the mussels and garnish with masago and thinly sliced green onions. Fair warning, but you're gonna wanna make a lot of these Dynamite Mussels because they go fast and they never disappoint.
Hey guys, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Christy from Destination Delicious, and today we're making for you an easy, crowd-pleasing appetizer.
This is how we make our tasty loaded potato skins. We're gonna start this one out like we do a lot of our recipes, and that's by getting some bacon on the griddle. We wanna make sure it gets nice and crispy so it's easy to chop, and boy does it look and smell good. While that's cooking, I'm gonna take our pre-baked potatoes and slice them lengthwise. And then I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm gonna scoop out most of the flesh from the middle. That's how we get our potato skins.
The bacon is done, so I'm going to chop that up and set it aside to use as a topping later. We also have some garlic herb butter to melt down, so we're going to get that on a griddle using Blackstone's aluminum tin while also getting our potato skins down as well. Once our butter is melted, we're going to brush it onto each skin before flipping them over to crisp up.
After cooking for a few minutes, the edges of the skins are going to get nice and golden brown. And once that happens, we're going to flip them over and put some shredded cheddar cheese into them immediately. While that cheese is melting, we'll throw some salt at them, and then it's time to load them up.
A squeeze of sour cream gets the party started, followed by the chopped bacon, of course. Lastly, we'll cut up some green onion and sprinkle that on top as well. A few more minutes on the griddle, and then we'll pile up these skins ready to be served. This is just such an easy, simple, crowd-pleasing appetizer that your guests will surely enjoy as they ring in the new year.
You guys know how I love to roll. Appetizers are kind of my game. I like to have fun with it. So I'm gonna show you guys some blistered shishito peppers with two different sauces.
Dude.
First one, we're gonna do a nice hefty dollop of Duke's mayo. We're gonna move on to a classic stir fry sauce. I got a little bit of sesame oil, some tamari, some hoisin sauce, which is basically an Asian barbecue sauce, a little bit of garlic powder, and we're gonna add a pinch of pepper and some lime juice. Stir that up, set it aside. Moving on to sauce, number 2. This is a basic yum yum sauce.
Yum yum.
They call it yum yum sauce because it's so yummy. Starting with some Duke's mayo. Again, a hefty dollop. Moving on to some ketchup After that, we've got some rice vinegar, a little bit of paprika, a pinch or two of sugar, depending on how sweet you like this bad boy to be. And we're gonna give that a stir.
Easy.
Easy peasy. Get it off to the side. We are definitely done with both of those sauces. Now, on our Blackstone, we've got this sucker on high, screaming hot. You want it blistering hot, so you want to see some smoke. Right when you see the smoke, add a little bit of olive oil and start tossing your shishito peppers down. Now, if you don't know what shishitos are, these are at the grocery store.
They're delicious.
They're a really mild pepper, and when they soften and blister up on the Blackstone, they are so fantastic. Now, we're gonna let those literally blister all around. Go as far and as long as you like, but here's the thing, they're gonna stay firm until our very last step. Now, that last step is gonna involve lime juice. Right before that, add some salt, some pepper. We wanna do a quick seasoning, but the lime juice at the very end,
oh heck yeah,
that's going to allow all those aromas to start dancing in that sweet lime juice. It caramelizes. Then you're gonna see those peppers start to kind of shrink and wither up, I guess. It's the process, man. That's when you know they're done. Dust that with a little bit of garlic powder and you are on your way. One last toss, plate them up, add some extra, post-dusting of some seasonings. I personally love to use the Blackstone Island stir fry. Little squeeze of lime juice.
Like 2 minutes.
Boom.
Done.
That is seriously simple and your guest will go nuts over the New Year's holiday.
So today we're gonna do some bacon wrapped shrimp on the Blackstone that'll be sure to trump that shrimp cocktail at your next party. We're using 8 to 12 shrimp. That's 8 to 12 pieces per pound. And we're gonna season them up with some Blackstone Bayou blend. I was looking for a little bit of spice to go on these. This fit well. Season those up on both sides really well. Then we're gonna pre-warm our Blackstone, get those on low. Next, it's all about the bacon, baby. So I'm gonna take half a strip of bacon. I'm gonna cut this package in half. I'm gonna take 1 strip of bacon. Little pro tip, stretch that out, tuck in that first piece, and then wrap around that, and it will be sure to stay on that piece of shrimp. And then also be sure to season that bacon side too. Next, we're gonna put them on an ungreased griddle. That bacon is gonna render, it's gonna provide much fat that you don't need to add anymore. 2 to 3 minutes on one side, 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, and these things are about done. Let's get them on our Blackstone cutting and serving board. We're gonna use some honey chipotle barbecue sauce to dip these dudes in. I promise you, this is gonna be some good groceries.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with all of us here at Blackstone. We hope your holiday parties are amazing and you guys are the stars of the show. Be sure to hashtag Blackstone Griddle or Griddle Nation. We want to see what you guys are creating. Be sure to subscribe if you're not. Leave us a comment, share it if you love it. See you guys in the next video.